Before we start this video, a large thank you to Hirio, Joshua, and Steve for their support on Patreon. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Hello guys, and today we're going to finish our POISE system, but first we two-hand a weapon and swing. You can see we actually get an error in the console. And this is happening because we're actually getting rid of the weapon in our other hand, so it's not actually able to find the damage collider. As you can see here, it can't actually find the damage collider under disable damage collider. This is easily fixed by going to the weapon slot manager and just saying if right hand damage collider is not equal null, then put this in here and do the same thing for the left one. This would have been a bug that would happen if you equip a weapon with two hands and try to perform an attack. You could still perform the attack and nothing would happen in terms of gameplay effects, but you would just get an error message. So let's remedy that by doing this and save it. Okay. Now, also, if we go into the game here now, you can see we'll swing and we no longer get that error, and that is great. Okay, so we're actually going to finish our POISE system today. So I've made this weapon here. Oh, and by the way, one more thing. This might be a small bug for some of you. If your players are shaking, go to the rigid body and actually make sure you have use gravity unchecked. I don't think I've said that in a live video before, but you see, the character model won't be vibrating anymore slightly. So when you actually have the game started, make sure you uncheck that before you start the game so your player prefab has it saved. So I have this two-handed sword, and as you can see, got some animation set up with it. And in Dark Souls, if you're mid-swing with a heavy weapon, what happens is your attack won't be interrupted by a lighter weapon. So if someone tries to swing at me with a dagger, for example, and I'm swinging with a greatsword, it won't be interrupted. So I have Poise Break and Offensive Poise bonus here in this weapon. I've given 110 Poise Break and 75 Offensive Poise bonus. And the Poise Break is how likely this weapon is to break your poise. The Offensive Poise bonus is the defense you get while swinging it. So let's go over to our weapon slot manager here, and you can make a new region if you'd like. I'm just going to say handle weapons poise. Poise bonus. And I'm going to say end region. And now we're going to make a function inside this that we're going to call via animation event. So let's say public void. And then we're going to say, I'm just going to call this, what should I call this? Grants weapon offensive poise. No, that's almost too wordy. Grant weapon attacking poise bonus. Yeah, that's good. Grant weapon attacking poise bonus. Okay. So then we're going to say character stats. Actually, it will be player stats, I believe. Whoops. Yes, player stats. Dot total poise defense is equal to player stats dot total poise defense plus player stats dot offensive poise bonus. Actually, no, that's not. That's incorrect. Sorry. It will be weapon. The weapon that we're using right now, and I think we have that saved on this script. Yeah, attacking weapon dot offensive poise bonus. Because if you scroll up here, we actually keep track of which weapon we're using every time we attack with the player. All right, so we'll make another function right below that. We're going to call it public void. Let's just say we could call it reset weapon attacking bonus, or attacking poise bonus rather. And then we simply say player stats dot total poise defense is equal to player stats dot armor poise bonus. So you just get the regular armor bonus of what you're wearing. Or you could even do minus current weapon dot offensive poise. Alright, so now on the animations here, I'm just going over to my greatsword animation. I'm going to add an animation event, and I'm just going to scroll down until I get grant weapon attack poise bonus, the function, and then wherever you want it to end, just make another animation event for reset the weapon act poise. So then do it on all your attack animations. I like this way because you can really key into which exact moment you want to get the defensive bonus, because sometimes you might not want to get it at the start of the windup, but like midway through. So I think using an animation event is definitely the best way to go about this. So I'm just going to assign these here, and I'll do the rest off video. And now let's go over to our damage collider script, and right here where it says if player stats is not equal null, I'm just going to actually erase this here, the debug logs. Let's get rid of a few of these so our console is cleaner. And I'm going to say right here, debug dot log. I'm just going to say my player's poise is currently, and I'm just going to call on the player stats dot total defensive poise. And down here, I'm going to do the exact same thing for the enemy. because I want to see and make sure that this is actually being added up correctly. So we're going to say enemy's poise is currently, and we'll say enemy stats. Okay, cool. Now we're going to do a couple more things before this will work, because we actually have a poise thing that's being reset. So let's go to our player stats and say public override virtual void handle poise reset timer. And you want to do the same thing on the enemy stats as well. I'm going to do that off screen because it's the exact same thing. So just copy it and paste it right here. So again, do this in the enemy stats as well. We're going to actually just make a check real quick. So we're going to say else if, and we don't want the poise to be reset if we're in mid attack. Otherwise, it'll just reset our attack bonus. So we're going to say else if poise reset timer is less than or equal to 0 and the player manager dot is interacting is false. So we're not interacting. And on the enemy stats, it will be the enemy manager is not interacting. That way, when we're attacking, we're not getting our poise reset to just the armor poise bonus alone. We get that offensive bonus maintained through the attack. Okay, now this should be fine. If I go in here now and check the debug.log, it should change in the stats too. So I'm going to let this guy attack me, and I'll start the attack. Yep, and as you can see, he swung, and I did not play a damage animation, and he died. And it says here my player's poise was currently 75. The poise of that weapon, or the poise break rather, was 25, so I maintained my attack. Just to show you again, I'm going to increase the health of the enemy so you can see it a couple of times in a row. And I will start. These animations are a little bit shafty, so don't mind that. But as long as you see the logic, that's fine. So there we go. He hit me, but I didn't play a damage animation, and he did. Now I'm just going to let him hit me regularly. So if I come back at him again, if he swings, yep, see, I will play the damage animation because I have no bonus. Now if I swing at him, I'll try to get him again where I swing and he hits me at the same time. Just one moment. So there we go. See, yep, I did not play a damage animation. Okay, so you get the gist of it. So basically now, you're able to basically poise through an attack if your attack has the better offensive poise bonus. And if not, you will play a damage animation. This is how things like great swords and stuff are set up in Dark Souls. Alright, let's go and copy all of this here on the weapon slot manager. And we're going to paste it in the enemy weapon slot manager with a slight change. So I'm going to paste this right down here. And I'm going to change player stats to enemy stats. But also, you will see that we're actually looking for our attacking weapon, which we do not have. I'm actually just going to change that to enemy stats dot offensive poise bonus, because we can just assign the poise bonus to them in the inspector because our enemies aren't really changing weapons. We can expand upon this in the future if we ever do create a system where our enemies will change weapons on the fly, but right now it's going to be pretty much the same. Alright, so I'm going to say enemy stats up here, and I'm going to call upon this on the awake method. I think I have some functionality in there I need to actually condense. Yes, I do. So let's make a private void for this weapon holder slots. We're just going to say private void load weapon holder slots, and we'll condense all the code in this function and then call this function on the awake method. And then we're going to simply say on the awake method, enemy stats is equal to get component in parent enemy stats, and we're going to say load weapon holder slots, and that will take care of initializing that as well. Alright, so now we're going to actually move on to the boss portion of the video. Because in Dark Souls, when you actually drain a boss's poise, you don't make them play a damage animation typically. You actually break their guard and set them up for a critical attack, almost like a parry. Now, we have some good animations for that. So let's go to the damage collider scripts, and right here where it says if enemy stats is not equal null, we're going to simply say if enemy stats dot is boss, and else. We're going to paste this logic into the else section. And then we're going to copy it again and paste it up in the is boss section, but we're going to tweak it just a little bit. So basically, we're going to keep this top bit the same. If your poise is high, then just take damage with no animation. But down here, we're actually going to do something else. So on the enemy stats, let's make a public void break guard function. Okay, and we're going to say enemy animator manager dot play target animation break guard, and we'll say that is true. We are interacting. And think of this like the same animation that you'd play after you've been parried. You open up for a critical attack. Now let's actually just copy the take damage no animation and paste it down here. But then right below that also, let's actually say enemy stats dot break guard. Now use the same animation events on your break guard event that you would normally use on your parried event. So I'm just going to copy my parried animation entirely. This is on the AI enemy animator, by the way. I'm just going to call this guard break, and I'm going to make a transition back to empty. Whoops, I'm supposed to call that break guard, not guard break. That will make a difference. So again, this has the animation events that we set up in our parry video. So watch what happens. I've changed the poise to super low on this boss. So I'm just going to hit me a couple times and then go behind him and hit him. And boom, he breaks open, and then you can riposte him. So normally, if you had lots of poise, it would take you quite a few hits to do that. But you can see the logic actually being applied here. In Dark Souls, if you hit a boss repeatedly with a really hard-hitting weapon or a weapon that damages their poise over time, they will open up like that and give you a chance to do a critical attack. I believe some bosses too also have area of affection, like if you hit them in the head repeatedly, they're bound to do that quicker and such. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and that concludes our poise system. We may expand upon it in the future. I'm sure we will when we tweak little things here and there. But I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to drop a like, leave a comment. It does genuinely help my series, guys. And if you feel like a super total champion, check out my Patreon below, and I will see you guys in the next video.